Hello everyone, welcome to MM Moments 8. So I've had a nice response from MM Moments 7 so far from the WoW Warrior community, and I kind of enjoyed talking about WoW. I mean, despite some of the subjects kind of derailed, and maybe I said a few things that were mainly meant to be funny and not rage and stuff. So today I thought I'd speak about something which I noticed that Blizzard is promoting a lot and that is definitely going to be affecting the warrior community.
Is death. Only then will you understand. You've been following in my footsteps all along.
And I decided to talk about Death Knights. So what's the deal with Death Knights? Blizzard says, oh sure, we'll balance it out and stuff. But then again, Blizzard is the same guys who think that the Warlock is balanced.
Oh, brother!
So their concept of balance is kind of, how should I say it, unbalanced? So here's the deal. I've been reading a lot about Death Knights and what people think about them. And here's what I think is going to happen. Death Knights are going to be just like Druids. They're going to be one of the best off-tanks in the game. However, I have a feeling that they might just be a little more than that. And I have a feeling they will have the ability to completely replace warriors. This is a personal feeling, this is not based on any real facts. You know, it's just a feeling I have, a gut feeling. And I say this why, I mean, if you read about it, most people will tell you why they made a warrior. And most people will be like, oh, I made a warrior because I wanted to like be wielding massive weapons and dealing massive damage. And that's basically what the Death Knight is going to be all about. However, I wouldn't be too concerned about Death Knight taking a tanking position. However, if you look closely to every single report, interview, whatever, about Death Knight, Blizzard constantly claims that they're going to improve group making because the Death Knight is going to be a viable tank. So my point is, I mean, you didn't go to Outlands and have a warrior with a two-hander tanking, did you? No. I mean, when you got to Outlands, I mean, this is from my experience, I only played after DBC came out, so when people got to Outlands, I never really saw someone tanking with a two-hander, unless it was a druid or something. So warriors, you don't see them tanking with two-handers. Why? Because they take too much damage. So how do they tank? They tank with a shield, of course. Everyone knows warriors tank with shields. They tank with shields because they increase our armor, they give us a higher block chance, and they absorb a lot of damage. So the point here is, warriors, they have to use shields in order to tank. Now, if a Death Knight can tank without a shield, think about the implications this brings about. I mean, he's probably going to have enough parry to compensate for not having a shield. So he's just going to parry about as much as warriors block. I mean, this is me thinking because, come on, if they say he's going to be a viable tank, he's got to parry. He's got to have some kind of defensive skill, right? He's not going to be going about with his two-hander taking massive damage and expecting to be healed. So either that, or he's going to have some really wicked drain life just like the Warlocks, and he's going to tank by draining life. Either way you look at it, it's going to be a real pain in the ass for the warriors because, I mean, think about this. A tanking warrior, yeah, sure, we're the best at the moment. We're the best single target tanks so far. And for the best single target tanks, in order to be the best single target tanks, you sacrifice a lot of things. Like, for instance, you might have read a few posts that I've made in the Warrior forums where I say that in order to be a great tank, one has to sacrifice attack points, crit chance, hit rating, everything that one uses to deal damage. The only thing you don't sacrifice is your strength, because strength also gives you block chance. So the point here is the tanks sacrifice a lot to be the tank. What happens is, once you're done tanking, like for instance, let's say you go to the game and you go make an instance in a 5-man group, and you go there, you tank for them, and hopefully if you wipe like only 2-3 times, you will be left with about 10 gold repair build. This is with an average tanking gear, not an epic. I mean, I don't even know how much one would get for losing with an epic gear, for wiping with epic gear. I mean, that's got to be like, I don't know, like 20 gold at least, like for wiping 2 times with epic gear. So now imagine this: once you're done tanking for that 5-man group that I just spoke of, what are you gonna do? You have 2 choices. You either go to another instance or you go solo for a while. Now, as a prot warrior, you really don't have that solo option that much, you know? Because, I mean, come on, let's face it, who the hell wants to go around sundering mobs, I mean, normal mobs, and then, like, shield slamming them and heroic strikes and devastate? I mean, who the hell uses devastate in, like, PvE? It's, I mean, only tanks, because it's the only way we gotta survive. So my point here is, I mean, if there are going to be Death Knights who can do the same role as a warrior and they can tank in instances, and then they'll probably have solo viability because, let's face it, they're wielding 2-handers. They're going to be making massive damage, and they got those rune things. I can't even imagine how that's going to affect the gameplay.